Winter's not over yet. A little bit of snow and ice on tap for Monday. We'll have a full forecast on Eyewitness News coming up next.
Next on the Night Beat, security still tight at a Hartford apartment building tonight after a suspect was arrested in the deadly fire there. Olympic stars shine bright in Hartford will take you out to the stars on ice. And Sidney Poitier, the man behind tonight's movie, you'll meet him next on the Eyewitness News Night Beat.
Live from WFSB, this is Eyewitness News Night Beat.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Greg Coy. Tonight, Darrell Harrell is behind bars, held on $500,000 bond. Hartford police say he's the man who set the deadly fire that killed 2 people Friday morning. Police are keeping watch over the burned-out building tonight. The early morning fire left 2 women dead and drove dozens from their homes. Today, residents were surprised to hear of the arrests.
When he talk about drugs and life and all that, it's like another person. He looked like a church person to me, and that's the reason why it's amazing that I still can't believe that he did this.
It's not going to be enough for what he took from all of us, not just me, but the 2 lives and the rest of the people that lost their stuff.
Harrell is being charged with capital felony and 2 counts of arson murder. He'll be arraigned in court tomorrow. Also in Hartford tonight, investigators are still looking for the cause of a fire that sent Anna Lopez and her 4 children to the hospital. It happened here on Brown Street early this morning. It took dozens of firefighters to bring the blaze under control. The children were treated and released. Lopez is in satisfactory condition, recovering from her burns. Westport police still don't know what caused a car to roll into the water and kill a 16-year-old. The teenager was learning how to drive with his father. It happened on Campo Beach Basin. Residents rescued the father but couldn't reach the son. Firefighters pulled the teenager from the water, but he died. The father is in good condition at a local hospital. Take a look at this. A spectacular accident on Interstate 84 early this morning between a van and a limousine. Incredibly, everyone escaped with just minor injuries. Police tell us the limo was stopped in the right lane when the van struck it from behind. There were 13 people in both vehicles. The accident is still under investigation. If you're out driving tomorrow morning, you'll want to be careful. We're expecting some snow and ice tomorrow morning. Let's check in with Bruce DePrest for a look at the first weather. Bruce?
Well, Greg, I don't expect any problems for tomorrow morning's rush hour. We're certainly not going to be dealing with any big storm coming into southern New England. Here's the scenario for 7 o'clock Monday morning. Looks like some very light snow moving into Fairfield County. That light snow will overspread the rest of the state during the course of the morning. And temperatures around daybreak tomorrow, 0 to 10 in the Berkshires, 10 to 15 across much of Connecticut, except near 20 along Connecticut shoreline. So a cold start tomorrow with a little bit of light snow activity in the southwestern part of the state by around 7 a.m. I'll have a full forecast coming up for the rest of the upcoming week in just a little bit, Greg.
Look forward to it, Bruce. No rest tonight in the murder of a young woman in Enfield. Investigators say 23-year-old Amy Allard was found in her home yesterday afternoon. The state medical examiner says Allard was strangled to death. Police say they don't know when the young woman was killed. The search for her killer will resume in the morning. New developments tonight that will affect the O.J. Simpson murder trial. Newsweek reports that a black police officer testified 10 years ago that Detective Mark Furman made racist comments to her. Furman's lawyer denies it. Detective Furman is a key witness against Simpson. Lawyers on both sides are busy preparing for tomorrow's testimony from Rosa Lopez. The defense claims she can give O.J. an alibi, and she'll take the stand right in the middle of the prosecution's case. Now, for some context, analysis, and perspective, let's turn to our legal analyst, attorney F. Mac Buckley. He joins us live from our satellite center. Who does Rosa Lopez benefit if her testimony is weak? The prosecution scores. If they're strong, do they lose, Attorney Buckley?
Well, she's a grave risk for either side. It's kind of ironic. An unemployed maid from El Salvador tomorrow is probably going to call the most important play in the career of O.J. Simpson, the football superstar. If her alibi is believable, Greg, it punches a major hole in the prosecution's case, and the jury is going to understand the significance of it because it's being done before the defense even has to put on its case, and they know it's important because they were called in for an aborted Friday night hearing that didn't take place to listen to it. If it's not credible, it makes the defense ring hollow, and Johnny Cochran's long opening statement about Mrs. Lopez and Mrs. Gerches, who's already been discredited, ring very hollow, and it hurts the defense.
Later in the week, we're expecting Detective Mark Furman to take the stand, possibly. Do the allegations against him hurt the prosecution? He's not the one on trial, as many people would say.
Well, you're right, but it is a trial within a trial, and it's risky for the defense. But if it works, it's an integral part of their whole plan to discredit the LAPD. Furman did a lot of important things in the case, one of which is very closely tied to Lopez. He interviewed her. She gave him the alibi as to when Simpson's Bronco was in front of his house, and he never turned it in because it helped Simpson. So it's going to be a big week in this case, and I think the defense last week punched holes in a substandard police investigation, and they could have a very good week if Lopez is credible and F. Lee Bailey, their designated hitman, cross-examines Furman effectively.
Big case indeed. Attorney Buckley, thank you very much for joining us. I'm sure we'll speak with you again. Some people in Minneapolis are returning home after a chemical blaze forced them to evacuate tonight. That story tops our look at news around America tonight. The fire at a chemical supply company is out, but the blaze caused a toxic chlorine plume to hover over parts of the city. Firefighters decided to let the overnight fire burn itself out because using water would have made matters worse. A pilot on board a blimp near San Francisco, California, fell to his death, leaving the blimp floating out of control. The blimp did land safely all by itself. Investigators say the pilot was trying to land at a nearby airport when, for reasons still unknown, he fell. The blimp landed about 5 miles east of Oakland, injuring no one below. Flags are at half-staff, marking the second anniversary of the World Trade Center bombing. The blast killed 6 people and injured more than 1,000 others. The bombing was the first terrorist attack on American soil. A Muslim cleric and 10 others are now on trial for allegedly bombing the Trade Center and targeting other New York landmarks. Surgeon General nominee Dr. Henry Foster is fighting back. He denounced allegations that he knew about the Tuskegee Project years before it ended. It was a government experiment on the effects of syphilis on African-American men. Dr. Foster says as soon as he learned about the experiment, he demanded treatment for the men. Foster says right-wing extremists are making false accusations against him. The man who coached Greg Louganis to Olympic gold says if he had to do it over again at the 1988 Olympics, he would have changed things. Ron O'Brien now says he would have told the Olympic doctors that Louganis was HIV positive. He didn't tell the physician, who, without gloves, stitched a cut Louganis got during an accident during the Olympic Games. Louganis talks about the incident and his friend Ryan White on Oprah.
Because after I hit my head, that's one of the thoughts that I had was, what would Ryan do in this situation? And I knew that he would fight, and he would hang in there, and he was my strength.
You'll see this emotional reunion with Ryan White's mom and hear more about his struggles with depression and AIDS from Louganis tomorrow on Oprah, right here on Channel 3. Stars of the Winter Olympics took center stage in Hartford tonight. Katrina Witt, Kristi Yamaguchi, and Scott Hamilton were just a few of the champions who performed. Channel 3's Sean Comey was there and brings us a few highlights from the show.
The program reads like a who's who of Olympic skaters.
I wanted to see the stars. I watch them in the Olympics and everything, so I wanted to see them in person.
And this was the big chance. It's a one-night-only performance, the Stars on Ice show stopping in Hartford about midway through a 48-city tour. These former Olympians say they're used to the pressure of being in the spotlight, but they say the months on the road present a different kind of challenge.
It isn't like that do or die all or nothing type of I'm on the ice once and this is it type of thing. It's like you have to be good every single night because it's the only time you're in front of those people.
No one we talked to seemed to be disappointed.
I like skating, and I just think it's kind of cool how they can skate so good because I can't skate. So I don't know, I have a lot of respect for them.
One measure of how good the show is how few people there are out here in the corridor. If this was a hockey game, there'd probably be hundreds of people out here buying food and drinks. But inside, there are more than 10,000 people glued to their seats. But it's not always picture perfect.
We had a show in Peoria, and they didn't have as big an ice surface as we were used to. And I came around and did a thing where I'm sort of blindsided. I stepped off the ice and into the people.
Part of the profits coming from the people in the audience go to the Make-A-Wish Foundation to support its work with children who suffer from life-threatening illnesses. A good time that helps a good cause. In Hartford, Sean Comey, Channel 3 Eyewitness News on the Night Beat.
And the show goes on the road now, wrapping up in Amherst, Massachusetts in April. The latest survey from the War on Weight is out, and it doesn't look good for Americans. That story's next on the Night Beat. And if you use pesticides to treat your lawn, you'll want to hear the results of a new study about children and cancer. But first, Terry Guerin has a first look at Night Beat Sports and about my red-hot New York Knicks. Terry.
Hey, how about it, Greg? Thanks to yet another spectacular night from Patrick Ewing. The Knicks beat the Sixers at the Garden. Ewing recorded his 4th consecutive 30-plus point game. He scored 32 tonight with 18 rebounds in a wild game that had not 1, not 2, but 3 buzzer beaters, and we will have all of those highlights. Plus, the Rangers skating in Buffalo, and later on SFE, the men and women of UConn bracing for a big Monday of basketball. Greg?
Thanks, Terry. Coming up, we're going to take you behind the scenes of tonight's movie, Children of the Dust. Sidney Poitier tells you what it was like making the miniseries. Stay with us. We'll be right back. In New Britain, a man dies in police custody. Tonight, an investigation is underway. It started when police responded to a domestic assault call on North Mountain Road. Police say they tried to arrest 24-year-old Andrew Brown, but he resisted. During the struggle, 4 officers were injured. Authorities say shortly after Brown was brought to police headquarters, he was found unconscious. He was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. An autopsy is scheduled tomorrow to determine the cause of death. Disturbing new findings from a new study about pesticides. The report says children whose yards were treated with chemicals were 4 times more likely to develop malignant tumors. The study does not prove any chemicals cause cancer, and experts say parents should not overreact. An expert with the American Cancer Society says the study relies on parents' recollections and may be faulty, and he's calling for more research. Americans are losing the battle of the bulge. A new poll shows almost 3 in 4 Americans are overweight, and the problem is getting worse. The poll shows that 71% of Americans above the age of 25 are overweight. Similar polls found 58% were overweight in 1983 and 64% in 1990 and 69% last year, and I think I'm one of them. Topping the business beat tonight, a trade war is averted between the United States and China. Trade representatives of both countries signed a copyright deal to stop the piracy of videos and compact discs. The U.S. had threatened to impose $1 billion worth of tariffs on Chinese imports, and China said it would have imposed tariffs on American goods. President Clinton praised the agreement, saying it will create more jobs for American workers. Some slippery weather is on the way tomorrow morning. Bruce is up next to tell us what to look out for. But first, if you were watching tonight's movie, Children of the Dust, you saw a rare appearance by Sidney Poitier. Coming up, you'll hear from the star himself about life in the Wild West. Stay with us.
This is Channel 3 Eyewitness News. Coverage you can trust from people you know.
Sidney Poitier makes a rare TV appearance on Children of the Dust, the CBS miniseries that started tonight. It's a story about young love and racial oppression set in the Oklahoma Territory during the pioneering days of the Old West. The year 1889 represented a battle for survival among whites, blacks, and Indians in the new territories. As the Indian lands opened up, newly freed Southern slaves were invited to stake their claim and start a new life. Leading the charge were men like Gypsy Smith, a half-black, half-Cherokee gunslinger, a character that sparked the interest of Oscar-winning actor Sidney Poitier.
It's an example of the American concept of the rugged individual, a man who moves by his own drama. He was a man of the times. He was a man in a period of American history when the gun was the law. And he was fascinating.
Once in Oklahoma, the black pioneers named their new home Freedom and elect Gypsy town marshal. It was Gypsy's job to keep the peace and protect the residents from outside forces. Not an easy job for any marshal.
I'll be talking with my guns. He lived by the gun. But he lived by apprehending those who misused their guns.
And living wasn't so easy for Sidney Poitier. He had to brave the cold Alberta weather while shooting the movie.
Well, I think you ought to tell your audience that it is cold here in Canada.
Children of the Dusk continues Tuesday night at 9 o'clock right here on Channel 3. Bruce DePrest and I are big fans of Sidney Poitier. He is
one good actor. He sure is.
And if he was traveling to Hartford, would you tell him to take a little extra time getting to work because of the weather?
No, I wouldn't. You might want to warm up your car a little bit tomorrow morning because it's going to be warm. It could be some light snow on into Fairfield County around 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, but I don't think the Monday morning commute is going to be bad. Let's take a look at our current conditions in Hartford and New Haven. The main story tonight is it's cold. We have 24 in Hartford, 26 in New Haven. Dew points are low, so the air is dry. And look at the barometric pressure, 30.62 inches in downtown Hartford, which means we have a big Arctic high in place. Let's take a look at where that Arctic high is right now. In the center of the Arctic high is up across Quebec right now, but is draining cold air down from the north. How cold is it? Well, you take a look at northern New England. Burlington is already down to 2 degrees above zero with clear skies, 3 below at Messina, New York, right on the Canadian border, 19 at Bradley International Airport, 26 in New Haven, and 31 in New York City, where skies have clouded over. A low overcast already into New York City and extreme southwestern portions of Connecticut, as you can see on the satellite picture. But most of New England, with that high pressure in place right now, is in the clear, and that's going to allow temperatures to drop to very bone-chilling levels. But you can see the clouds that moved out of the picture during today are now starting to head back in our direction. So we should have cloudy skies later on tonight, and again, some light snow developing in Fairfield County around the morning drive time. But again, I don't think it's going to cause any major trouble. Here's where the precipitation is now across the southern part of Pennsylvania, moving toward the east-southeast right now. But as the upper wind flow bends around more to the west-southwest, we're going to see that light precipitation head in our direction. This is not going to be a big storm, but again, tomorrow morning, there should be some snow falling in New York City on the light side on into southwestern portions of Connecticut with cold air draining down from the north. Now, the warm air aloft is going to work in during the course of the day, so by tomorrow evening, we should have rain along the coast, some light rain or drizzle, with a little bit of sleet or freezing drizzle inland and snow up across northern New England. Again, nothing heavy coming our way. However, it could be just enough to cause slippery road conditions. The top-end snow figure may be an inch out of all this. Finally, the mild air comes on in here for Tuesday, when we could see temperatures in the 50s, believe it or not. So here's your forecast details then for tonight, and look for skies to cloud over, 10 to 15 inland, near 20 at the coast. And then for tomorrow, look for some light snow to develop, changing to freezing drizzle inland during the afternoon, 27 to 32. We should have drizzle in the afternoon at the coast after some light snow, highs in the 30s. Tomorrow night, showers, drizzle, and fog with some icy spots for a